him obsessed, they call him mad. But the truth is, Virat Kohli doesn't rely on motivation. He doesn't wait for the mood to strike or for the camera to roll. Because motivation is temporary, but discipline is forever. It's the secret behind every morning he wakes up with the sun, every meal he controls with monk-like precision, and every drop of sweat he leaves on that training ground. If motivation is the spark, then discipline is the fire that never dies. Been burning for years. They say motivation gets you started, but it's discipline that keeps you going. That's not just a quote. It's a lived truth for people like Virat Kohli. Because motivation, no matter how strong, is an emotion. It's fragile, fleeting, fades the moment life throws discomfort your way. Discipline, on the other hand, is the quiet force that remains when all excitement dies. It's what makes you move even when every cell in your body screams for rest. One thing that defines Virat Kohli's journey is his relentless ability to act without waiting for the right feeling. Imagine this, it's 5:30 in the morning. The world is still asleep. The sky is dull, the bed is warm, body aches from yesterday's grind. At that moment, motivation is nowhere to be found. It's silent. There's no music, no camera, no crowd. But Kohli gets up anyway. He ties his shoelaces, walks out into the cold, and starts running. Why? Because motivation asks, feel like it, while discipline whispers, do it anyway. That's the difference between ordinary effort and greatness. Most people misunderstand motivation. They think it's a switch they can turn whenever life demands hard work. But motivation doesn't last. You can watch an inspiring video, feel an adrenaline rush, promise yourself change. And then by evening, that spark fades into comfort and procrastination. Discipline doesn't work like that. It's not a rush of excitement, it's a decision. It's a pact you make with yourself and refuse to break. Kohli understood that early in his career. When his body wasn't as strong, when his fitness wasn't world-class, when he wasn't yet the captain everyone admired, he realized something brutal: talent isn't enough. Passion isn't enough, motivation comes and goes, but habits stay. There's a story that defines this perfectly. In 2012, after a disappointing performance, Kohli decided he would never again be out-prepared. He cut out junk food, partied less, trained harder, structured his entire lifestyle. That wasn't motivation, it was discipline disguised as obsession. Every single day since then, he's followed a routine so strict it almost looks robotic. Early workouts, controlled nutrition, scheduled rest, mental conditioning. It's not glamorous, it's repetitive. But that repetition is exactly what builds excellence. He didn't chase inspiration, he built systems that made success inevitable. And that's the part most people don't want to hear. Discipline isn't exciting, boring. It's the same alarm, the same gym, the same grind. It's eating clean when your friends order fast food. It's sleeping early while others scroll through their phones. It's choosing long-term growth over short-term pleasure. Motivation makes you feel good for a moment. Discipline makes you unshakable for life. Kohli's discipline is not just about cricket. It's about life. It's about how he treats every training session as sacred. When others take rest days, treats them as opportunities to sharpen one more skill, to improve one small detail. You see, motivation would tell him, you've done enough. Discipline tells him, you can do better. That internal dialogue, the voice that refuses to compromise, is the difference between champions and dreamers. Motivation relies on emotion, discipline relies on identity. Kohli doesn't train because he's motivated, he trains because that's who he is now. And that identity came from the countless mornings when he didn't want to move. It came from saying no when temptations yes, greed. It came from facing failure and still showing up the next day. Because discipline isn't loud, it's consistent. It's not about habits. It's about habits, what makes you push your limits even when no one's watching. And that's the hardest part. Doing it alone, without applause, without recognition, without the comfort of external validation. Kohli learned that the world only sees your success. It never sees your discipline. Think about this for a second. How many times have you promised yourself that tomorrow will be the day you start? Tomorrow you'll work harder, a little longer, focus better. But when tomorrow comes, you don't feel like it. That's motivation failing you. Discipline doesn't care about feelings. It doesn't wait for the right moment. It says because it must be done. That's what separates the great from the good, the ability to move forward even when the excitement has died. For Kohli, that mindset became his superpower. When he's on the field, facing pressure, fatigue, or even criticism, discipline that holds him together. It's the repetition of training, the familiarity of effort, the calm born from knowing he's prepared. That's what gives him confidence. Not talent alone, not motivation alone, but the certainty that he's earned his readiness. Discipline builds that kind of peace. Motivation gives you excitement, discipline gives you control. Every person who achieves mastery eventually learns this truth. Artists, athletes, entrepreneurs, all of them rely on discipline more than inspiration. Once you've done something long enough, motivation isn't required anymore. You've built muscle memory in your actions and in your mind. You stop thinking about whether you want to do it. You simply do it. That's what Virat Kohli embodies every single day. His body has been conditioned by years of consistency. His mind trained to resist comfort. His habits built to serve his purpose. And here's the paradox: when you stop relying on motivation, you actually become unstoppable. Nothing external can decide your performance anymore. You become self-driven, internally powered, untouchable. Kohli's example shows that motivation might start your journey, but only discipline will finish it. Every great story of success, every legacy built on excellence, stands on the foundation of doing what must be done, not just what feels good. In the end, discipline is a quiet kind of power. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need attention. It's the invisible strength behind every success that looks effortless. Virat Kohli's transformation from a talented cricketer to one of the fittest, most consistent athletes on the planet wasn't magic, wasn't luck, wasn't even motivation. It was the result of thousands of disciplined choices made in silence. The world saw his runs, centuries, his celebrations, but behind all of that were early mornings, controlled meals, and countless moments when he acted without emotion. That's discipline, the art of showing up when the heart says no, but the purpose says yes, because in the end, motivation fades, excitement passes. But discipline stays. It stays through failure, through pain, through exhaustion. It stays when no one's clapping, when the results take time, when the road feels endless. And when the world finally notices you, they'll call you talented, they'll call you gifted. But you'll know the truth: it was never talent. It was never luck. It was the discipline to keep moving forward when motivation gave up. Motivation is like a flame. It burns bright when you feel inspired, but dies at the moment a cold wind of doubt hits. Discipline, though, is the structure that protects that flame and keeps it alive even in a storm. For someone like Virat Kohli, discipline isn't just a habit, it's a lifestyle, a system, a set of rules that holds his life together no matter how unpredictable the world becomes. Motivation can get you to the gym once, maybe twice, but discipline ensures you go every day, even when your body aches or your mind resists. The foundation of Kohli's greatness, his commitment to structure over emotion. Every morning in Kohli's world follows a pattern, a rhythm. His days are not left to chance. There's a routine behind every action, every meal, every workout. He doesn't wake up wondering what to do, he already knows. Because structure eliminates confusion, and confusion is where motivation dies. When you rely on motivation, you're depending on how you feel in the moment. But feelings change with weather, sleep, stress, and emotion. Discipline, however, creates a system that functions regardless of how you feel. Kohli's discipline gives him that system, a daily routine so consistent that it keeps him sharp, prepared, and mentally unshakable. He wakes up early, not because he's always eager. His routine demands it. He eats the same kind of clean food, not because he enjoys restriction, but because his body needs precision. He trains at fixed hours, not because he's always excited, but because structure keeps his performance stable. In a world where most people drift between bursts of motivation and long stretches of procrastination, Kohli's structure acts as his compass. It keeps him aligned with his purpose even when distractions call his name. Discipline builds systems, and systems build freedom. Paradox most people never understand. They think discipline is a cage, it's something that restricts freedom. But in truth, it's the opposite. Motivation keeps you dependent. It forces you to wait for the right mood, the right song, the right energy. Discipline frees you from all of that. You don't have to wait to feel ready. Your system makes you ready. Kohli doesn't waste time negotiating his emotions. His structure already decided for him. The alarm rings, he moves. The time for training comes, he trains. No questions. That's how discipline gives him freedom. The freedom to focus his energy on performance rather than decisions. Think of motivation as the wind. It can push you forward, but it's unpredictable. Discipline is the sail. It directs that wind toward your goal. Without a sail, even the strongest wind is useless. Kohli doesn't rely on emotional winds. He's built a sail of routine that ensures he keeps moving no matter what direction life blows from. His structured routine acts like armor. It protects him from the chaos of distractions, emotions, and temptations that derail most people. Because let's face it, success isn't about one great day, it's about hundreds of ordinary days executed with precision, and discipline gives you the consistency to turn ordinary days into extraordinary results. Every great athlete, every successful entrepreneur, every artist who stands at the top, they all share this secret. They don't depend on feeling inspired every morning. They depend on structure. Kohli's schedule isn't based on excitement, it's based on necessity. He trains, eats, recovers, and sleeps with purpose. There's no wasted motion, no wasted thought. His routine is so deeply ingrained that it no longer feels forced. It's because it's become his nature. That's the power of discipline. When practiced long enough, it becomes instinct. Discipline becomes instinct. Motivation becomes irrelevant. But that kind of structure doesn't happen overnight. It's built slowly through repetition and sacrifice. When Kohli began transforming his fitness, he didn't create a perfect system in one day. He adjusted, built, refined, and repeated. Day over time, his discipline hardened into a structure so solid that it carries him even when his mind feels weak. It's like muscle memory, but for life. His body knows when to wake, when to train, when to rest. Habits run like clockwork. That's what true discipline is. It's automation of excellence. The beauty of structure is that it removes decision fatigue. Every day, people waste mental energy choosing whether to act or not. Should I go to the gym? Should I eat clean? Should I study? But discipline eliminates those questions. You don't ask, you just do. Kohli doesn't rely on inspiration to decide if he should train today. His schedule already decided it for him yesterday. That's why he's consistent. He's not reacting to life, directing it through his structure. Motivation is reactive. It comes and goes with emotions. Discipline is proactive. It creates order where there would otherwise be chaos. And that order creates confidence. When you live with structure, you stop doubting yourself, trusting the process. Kohli doesn't need to hope he'll perform well. He knows he will because his preparation has been consistent. Every workout completed, every meal controlled, every recovery session followed. It all adds up to certainty. And certainty breeds calm. That's why you'll rarely see him panic under pressure. And discipline gives him control over himself, and control is the ultimate advantage in any field. When you look closely, you'll realize that discipline is not just about doing. It's about becoming. Structure shapes identity. Kohli isn't disciplined because he's Virat Kohli. He's Virat Kohli because he's disciplined. His routine doesn't revolve around his mood. His mood revolves around his routine. That's why he stands out in a world where people chase temporary highs. It makes you predictable to yourself, and that's power. The deeper truth is that discipline builds momentum, and momentum builds greatness. Every time Kohli sticks to his structure, even on the hardest days, he strengthens his mental muscle. The more he follows the routines, it becomes to keep going. Over time, this rhythm becomes a part of his identity, an internal compass that never loses direction. That's how discipline transforms into dominance. While motivation can give you moments of brilliance, discipline gives you a lifetime of results. It creates the order in which success thrives. It keeps you steady when motivation deserts you. It keeps you humble when fame tempts you. It keeps you hungry when comfort calls. Kohli's daily routine may look repetitive from the outside. Inside that repetition lies mastery. Every rump, every ritual is a brick in the fortress of discipline that protects his greatness. That's why when others talk about finding motivation, Kohli doesn't relate, doesn't need to find anything. He's already built everything through structure. His routine is his weapon, his discipline is his armor, and his consistency is his crown. Motivation may start the engine, but discipline builds that key machine that's running for life. A strange teacher. It humbles you, breaks you, tests you, and yet it's the very force that forges greatness. Most people run away from it, but those who learn to stand in the fire, those who turn pain into power, are the ones who rise above the rest. Virat Kohli is one of those people. His career, his transformation, and his dominance are built on discipline that doesn't collapse under pain. It thrives on it. Where motivation trembles and fades, discipline stays. And in those dark moments of exhaustion, heartbreak, or failure, discipline becomes the bridge that carries you from pain to progress. Every athlete faces pain, physical, mental, emotional. But the difference lies in how they respond to it. Motivation might help you take the first step, but when your muscles burn, your body aches, your mind begs to quit, motivation is nowhere to be found. That's when discipline steps in, silent but firm. Kohli has lived through those moments countless times, on the field, in the gym life. And every time, it was discipline that taught him to push through, to endure, rise again. He learned that pain isn't an obstacle, it's the process. There were days when his performances didn't meet expectations, when criticism poured in, and when the weight of the jersey felt heavier than ever. Motivation would have told him to take a break, to escape. Discipline told him to stay, to analyze, to improve, to fight back. Every missed shot, every loss, every sleepless night became fuel. Because when you're disciplined, pain doesn't defeat you. It educates you. It shows you where you're weak, to grow where you must focus. Kohli didn't hide from pain. He studied it, embraced it, and let it shape him. It's easy to be motivated when things are going well. When you're winning, performing, and praised by everyone. What happens when everything falls apart? When your effort isn't enough, when failure keeps showing up, that's when true character is tested. Kohli's journey is filled with those moments. Times when he was out of form, when he was criticized by media, even fans doubted him. But he never gave in to frustration. Instead, he turned to his routine, his discipline. While others questioned his ability, he quietly doubled down on preparation. That's the mindset of a warrior. Using pain as the sharpening stone for his spirit. Discipline transforms pain to power by giving it purpose. Pain without purpose feels unbearable. But when you connect it to something bigger, to your vision, your goals, your identity, it becomes fuel. Kohli's pain wasn't wasted. Every drop of sweat, every sore muscle, lonely evenings spent in discipline, each was an investment. Discipline gave his suffering direction. It told him, this pain you feel right now is proof that you're growing stronger. And that belief turns agony into drive. In training, when fatigue hits, most people stop. Kohli learned to listen to that pain differently. He sees it as the signal that he's crossing into new territory, breaking barriers that comfort never could. Pain becomes a measurement, a sign that he's progressing. That's what separates the elite from the average. Discipline doesn't just help you survive discomfort, it helps you use it. You start craving the challenge because you know what brings out of you. The stronger the pain, the deeper the transformation. It doesn't just apply to cricket or fitness. It's true in every part of life. Whether it's failure in business, heartbreak in relationships, or disappointment in your personal goals, pain is universal. What defines you is how you respond to it. Motivation will tell you to find comfort, to distract yourself, to heal softly. But discipline tells you to keep working, to keep learning, to keep moving forward. It teaches you resilience. The ability to rise not because you feel good, because you've built the habit of rising. There's a kind of peace that comes when you master pain through discipline. You stop fearing it. You start expecting it. You start respecting it. Kohli doesn't crumble under pressure because he's trained in pain. He's comfortable being uncomfortable. Every time he fails, every time his body hurts, every time critics attack him, he knows it's another opportunity to grow stronger, because discipline has taught him that pain is temporary but couldn't last forever. And when you've built your identity around consistency, pain loses its power to stop you. It becomes the very reason you keep going. Think about it. When the crowd is tired, the crowd is against you. When self-doubt creeps in, what keeps you standing? Not motivation, discipline. The countless hours of repetition, the sacrifices, the silent promises you made to yourself. Those moments of structure turn into inner strength. Kohli walks into every match knowing he's endured more in training than he ever will in the game. That's why he thrives under pressure. His mind has already been through worse. His body has already faced the pain. And that's the true secret of champions. They don't avoid pain, they prepare for it. They build discipline like armor. When life hits them hard, don't shatter, they absorb it. Kohli's composure on the field, his focus under stress, his ability to recover after setbacks, all come from that inner conditioning. Discipline has made him emotionally immune to chaos. He's not motivated by comfort or recognition anymore, driven by the quiet satisfaction of knowing he's done the work even when no one was watching. Over time, pain stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like progress. You start seeing each struggle as a sign that you're on the right path. Kohli often says that his goal is not just to be better than others, but to be better than who he was yesterday. And that mindset only exists in someone who's learned to embrace discomfort. Motivation looks for excitement, discipline looks for growth. And growth always demands pain. So every time he's out there on the field battling pressure, fatigue, and expectations, it's not luck guiding him, it's discipline. The same discipline that taught him to stay calm when the crowd roars, to focus when the moment overwhelms, to rise after every fall. It didn't weaken him, it built him. Discipline transformed his scars into strength, his failures into foundations, his struggles into stories of resilience. Because in the end, discipline doesn't just help you endure pain, it helps you transform it. It teaches you that every hardship hides a lesson, every failure hides a gift, every discomfort hides a doorway to power. That's the mindset that turned Virat Kohli from just into a phenomenon. His journey is his living proof that while motivation makes you move, discipline makes you unstoppable. And when you let discipline turn your pain into power, nothing, no failure, no criticism, no setback can ever break you again. So now the question isn't whether you feel motivated, it's whether you're willing to stay disciplined. Because motivation will come and go like waves, but discipline is the tie that never leaves. And that's what separates those who dream from those who do. Look at Virat Kohli. He didn't wait for inspiration, he created it. Every early morning, every clean meal, every relentless workout, they were all silent promises to himself. And that's exactly what you need to build a promise that no excuse, no pain, no fatigue will ever break. You don't need perfect conditions. Don't need to wait for the right moment. You just need to start. Wake up tomorrow and act like the person you want to become. Show up even when it's hard. Keep going when it's boring. Push through when it hurts. Because the truth is, discipline does just build success. It builds you, it shapes your character, your confidence, and your destiny. So starting today, stop chasing motivation and start building consistency. Turn your daily routine into a declaration of who you are. Turn your discipline into your superpower. And when the world sees your results, they'll call it talent. But you'll know the truth, it wasn't talent at all. It was discipline. Every single day. Now go. Be relentless. Be consistent. Be unstoppable. Your future is waiting. And it belongs to the disciplined.